Hey, Robert, what's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing today? Willard, Cinnamon, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Mark, last time I talked to you I was still in the Beehive state. I called you from Salt Lake all those years ago about Willard, Utah, and everything.
That's a 4.
Willard, yes, I've been
solid
there.
4 in the Beehive state.
No, I do remember this call because I've been there. I've been to Willard, Utah.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents drove. They drove me and my sister to Big Sky, Montana, where my uncle had a home, and we went and stayed up there. And that was the way my parents did it. They convinced us that was the way to travel when I was a kid because they didn't want to pay for 4 plane tickets, and so we didn't know any better. So we got into a caravan and freaking drove to Montana. And when we got to Willard, Utah, we stopped the car, got out, and started taking pictures of the signs.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, Robert.
But,
all right, what else?
Beautiful place. Yeah, but I wanted to tell you this Renel news, man. Seriously.
It's brutal.
So it's brutal. Yeah, that's the first thing I woke up to this morning. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So anyway, I grew up listening to 98.1 Kiss FM, like I'm sure a lot of people listening did. And that was, the first voice I heard in the morning when I was a little kid. And that was my musical education sensation. And listening to Luther Vandross, Santana, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the list goes on and on, right? So I'm 33 years old, and I'm like, having that and everything. Anyway, I finally got to meet her last year at FanFest at the Giants Park, and I told her the story.
Yep.
Of I listened to, when we were listening in the car, my mom would turn off, whenever I turned on a Marvin Gaye Sexual Healing, she would just switch to another station. Because you don't need a 7-year-old listening to,
Yeah, it's inappropriate. That's right. Yeah. It's inappropriate, Robert.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I would, I told her that story and she was just laughed. It was great, man. But, she's a number one. She's a legend. God bless her. I hope she hears this. And, you guys have a great one, man. Take
Robert,
care. Thanks.
Thanks.
So much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
she hears it. I promise you, Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We can reboot that a little bit. For those of you who are just joining us here in the second half of the show, we spent a lot of time on this in the first half of the show, in that Renel will not return to the Giants this year, at least in the same capacity. Emeritus. PA announcer emeritus.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just made up out of thin air and is complete BS. And I find the press release that the Giants sent out today to be the most offensive one I've ever seen them send out, period. Because the rest of the ones I've seen them send out are about baseball, and that's part of life in the big city and big business. People send out press releases just literally by virtue of the fact that they're sending out a press release means that they're trying to convince you of something in a persuasive way. So that's fine. I get it. You're sending out a press release to sort of give your spin on whatever. And if it is that Matt Chapman has signed to be the third baseman, and here's all the wonderful things that Matt Chapman has done in his career as a baseball player, leaving out that he hit 180 for the second half of the year last year. I get that. But this is different. This is different, and it's filled with lies. And that's what really bums me out about this. This whole idea, mutually and amicably parting ways. It's been reported in other places. I can back that 1,000% that that's not what this was. That's not what this was. And so the issue with it is very layered because A, it's the voice of the park, and we love that. B, it's Renel, and we love her. So it is all of those things, but for me, it goes way bigger than that. It is a sign that the Giants are, A, very willing, even on human interest stuff, very willing to lie to their fan base. It is a sign that is absolutely 100% true. And B, it also signifies to me that the Giants have found a way to take what should have been a very healthy and positive offseason and walk out of it into opening day feeling like the most cold-hearted team in all of baseball. From we can't get people because San Francisco to Brandon Crawford to J.D. Davis and now Renel. We've said it a few times. If you took any one of these on their own, okay, I can handle that. You put them all together, and it just it makes you ruin all of the other things that you've done this offseason because you are socially unaware, you're cold-hearted, and you're not being authentic with us.
Tone deaf with what, the Bay Area is really interested in. And to have a sports talk show do multiple hours, and we've talked about it all day on this station, and we should because of who Renel is. One of the first black women to serve as a PA announcer in Major League Baseball. She called no-hitters, perfect games. She called 3 World Series championships, and you're just going to move on. And I know that part of the release was they're going to name the public address booth after Renel, that's nice. That's a nice honorarium, but it doesn't replace the stench of how they're going about replacing her.
I'm pretty sure she'd rather be in the booth than on the booth.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Yeah.
She'd rather still be doing it at 65 years young. And I wonder what direction they go because you were so progressive when you hired her.
Yep.
And now are you going to continue to be progressive in your next hire or
I would hope so.
Right.
I would hope so. But by the way, also, boy, I feel sorry for whoever the person is that's going to get this gig.
Yeah.
Because you're going to walk into a storm you didn't create. And people aren't going to like you. I don't even know who I'm talking to. But whoever you are, people are not going to be happy that you're there. And that stinks. That's totally unfair to that person, too.
Yeah.
But that's the way this works, and you can thank your new employer for that.
Yeah, and it's never easy to replace a legendary figure, but when they are pushed out or forced out, or when it happens in this manner and you get to be the person to come in and replace them, it's even more difficult than if she went out on her own terms, which she clearly didn't, even though the release would indicate it's a mutual parting of ways.
This is one of the strangest stories I have ever sat here and talked with you about. It doesn't make any sense. It flat out, and that's what I'm struggling. I'm struggling again on multiple levels here. All the reasons I just stated, but I can't. I'm racking my brain for even what could have been the reasoning behind this. Why would you do this? Why would you do it now? That's the stupidest thing I have ever heard of in my entire life.
That to me is the most interesting part because if you didn't want her to have the job any longer, if it was a personal thing and you just didn't want to have her be the voice or be the face anymore, you don't wait until March 18th.
March 18th.
So if you did
do it on Christmas Eve. What did the season sneak up on you?
Exactly. It had to be something to do with contractual terms, I think. And if it's money, if they wanted to have her take a pay cut or didn't want to pay her a pay increase that she felt like she deserved, well, now we're talking about pinching pennies for a multi-billion-dollar organization that just is about to open up a brand new development that is going to have them raking cash.